get to know her a little bit in this book, but more in the other books to come. But it was kind of neat because, I mean, what better way than to research than to actually go there? And we had a wonderful time. Of course, it was hot. They had record heat. I mean, probably the hottest it's been there in 40 years. And we felt it. I mean, I grew up in the South and I, grew up accustomed to humidity. But living out West, I kind of thought, oh, yeah, I'm prepared for that. But oh, my goodness, it was sweltering. And so it's kind of a funny little tidbit. I had packed all these clothes that I thought I would wear, and then I ended up wearing like pretty much 2 outfits because they were my coolest things. So that was kind of funny. And then also I had packed these cute little sandals with just barely some heels. Y'all know how much I love heels, and those lasted for about 2 hours, and I got blisters, and then the rest of the time I was in my tennis shoes. So, but I'm really, really glad to be back, and I'm glad to be with you, and on this very special YouTube Live. Guys, today is the day that we're celebrating the launch of To Still a Heart. I have been waiting for this one. I am so excited, and I'm so excited that you're here. So, okay, before I want to talk a little bit about your comments. Okay, I'm looking at some of the comments, and let's see. Can you guys hear me now? I think Austin's giving me the thumbs up. He says yes, everybody can. Okay, awesome. Okay, so if you can't hear me, maybe put it in the comments, but hopefully, Paula says, me too, because it's been frying in this heat. Oh, it was so hot. And we did Airbnbs, and a couple of our places did not have air, and I slept with an ice pack, like it was that hot. And we also walked about 8 to 10 miles a day. So, okay, good. I'm glad that y'all can all hear me. As I was saying, I don't know what part you've missed, but I recently went to Italy with my family. And of course, it was a trip of a lifetime, and it was a research trip for me because I'm going to set my book, Sliver of Doubt, which is in my Honeysuckle Island series. I'm going to set it there, and that's Charlie's story. But anyway, I want to talk more about tonight while we're here, and that is the release of To Still a Heart. And so before I get into that, let me just, I wanted to talk to you just a little bit because I've missed you about your comments. Debbie says, can't wait for your reading. Thank you. I'm excited. I have been practicing, y'all. I hope I can do grandmother justice. I've been trying. Okay, and then Tanya says, oh, I've been in bed for 17 days dealing with COVID. I am so sorry, and I'm glad that you made it. My husband got COVID a little bit before we were going to Italy, and we were freaking out because here we had this big trip planned, but luckily he got over it, and I didn't get it. I was very, very grateful. It was a miracle that I didn't get it, but we were sweating bullets. It was pretty rough, but luckily we were fine. But we walked a ton. I mean, I have not walked that much in years, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But okay, before I get into talking about To Still a Heart, y'all already know this is probably not going to be a surprise, but we're going to start our weekly readings back next week. And by overwhelmingly popular vote, we are going to be reading The Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter, Brooke's story. It's a doozy, y'all. You know how Brooke is. And, of course, I can't wait for y'all to see what antics Gracie has up her sleeve. And then also we'll find out more about Sheldon. So that one's going to be fun. So we'll do that same time, same place next week. And so that will be really fun. Okay, now back to Still a Heart. I appreciate y'all joining me this evening. It's really exciting. The Honeysuckle Island the Honeysuckle Island series takes place in North Carolina. It's a fictitious island, Honeysuckle Island, and the inspiration for this, I know many of you have heard me say this before, but I got the inspiration. My husband and I went on vacation with some friends of ours, and we went to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Patrick did some research, and he's like, hey, let's go check out this cool island. So we did, and you have to take a ferry out or a boat. And of course, when I saw it, it was love at first sight. I mean, it's this quaint little village area, and I just, the only vehicles are utility vehicles and police vehicles. The rest of them, everybody just takes these electric golf carts around, and I was just smitten, and so I decided, okay, this is where I want to set my next series. And then I love honeysuckles. And so I could not think of a better place like to have an island where the smell of honeysuckles floats on the air. So that was kind of the inspiration behind the series, if you're new to this. And then all of the books in the series are standalone. So you can read them, like you can begin reading this one now and you would be fine. But it's always fun to start at the beginning, and then you'll see kind of how the characters interconnect. I'll say, I think Austin shout out to Austin, guys. Did you see that fancy intro? And then he's like able to patch some pictures in. So I thought that was kind of neat. I'm excited about him. And of course, y'all know I couldn't do these without him. He's amazing. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about To Steal a Heart. This is Arden's story. Those of you who have read False Illusions got to know Arden a little bit because she was Livia's best friend. And you also know that she's outspoken and sassy, and she loves to go head-to-head with her meddling grandmother. Arden's biggest pet peeve is when people compare her to her grandmother. And so you will see that. So Arden has had a successful writing career, but she's floundering a little. Her last book was not as well received by the critics. And so she's kind of trying to find herself. And then also she's dealing with a painful breakup from her boyfriend. So what she wants most is she wants to find someone who loves her for her. I mean, as y'all know, the Chasings are this like larger than life family, very wealthy, notable family on the East Coast. And she always feels like that she can really never measure up, and she's tired of people just judging her on her family name. She just wants someone to love her for her. Okay, and then this charismatic and charming man enters her life in a very unexpected way, and everything changes. This one has lots of mystery and suspense. There's lots of laughter. You'll see in the first chapter, there were some funny parts, some heartbreaking moments too. And I'll be reading an excerpt shortly. But first, let me just say that every person who is on here tonight will get a complimentary free ebook. I'm going to gift it to you through Amazon. And I'm not going to tell you which one yet because I'm going to save that surprise to the end. And I'll tell you at the end how you can get your book too. So be sure and look for that. 2 people will win ebook copies of False Illusions, which is the 4th book in the Honeysuckle Island series. If you've already read it and you want another one of the books, then we can do that too. But 2 people will win. So to get in on that, be sure and comment so that your name will be in there. And Austin's got this cool wheel. I think y'all seen it before, but he's going to do the spin so that he's going to pick those winners at random. So we'll announce those at the end of the event. One person will win a $10 Amazon gift card. This is a giveaway that I do for my newsletter subscribers. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all are newsletter subscribers. But if you're not, if you're new to this and want to join, I would love to have you. There's a link at the bottom, or there will be. Austin will end up putting that up. So anyway, you can get in on that because that's really fun. So I asked my newsletter subscribers yesterday and today to tell me one nice thing that they've done for themselves, either themselves or their loved ones this summer. And I would like to pose that question to you. What nice thing have you done for either yourself or your loved ones this summer? Okay, one thing that I've done for myself this summer is to get out and walk more. This started when we went to Italy, and we walked and walked and walked. And of course, I got blisters after blisters and had to bandage up my feet. And I thought, okay, this is ridiculous. After the first week, the walking wasn't so bad anymore. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue this trend. So I've been trying to walk every day, and it's been really awesome. Sometimes I do 2 a days because I've been trying to get in about 8 miles. Sometimes 7, 8. I mean, I'm not that picky about the mileage. The main thing is that I just want to set the routine and go out and do it. But I have felt a lot better. I mean, with me writing, I spend a lot of time sitting in front of my computer, and I was like, okay, this is not going to get it. I have got to get out. And it helps clear my head, which is kind of nice too. So I want to hear some things that you have done, and I want to read your comments. Nell says, looking forward to hearing you read the book. Thank you. I'm excited too. And Debbie says, congratulations, Jennifer, on your launch of the new book. Thank you, Debbie. And then Robin, glad that you're joining us. Debbie says it's a cool wheel. It really is a cool wheel. It really is. So, but y'all chime in and tell me, something that you've done for yourself or for your loved ones. It's kind of nice to think about that. Okay. Happy birthday to Still a Heart. This is our book birthday. I kind of like that term. And I'm really, really excited. Okay, one thing that's a little different. I don't know if you've paid attention to anything behind me, but my husband Patrick designs all of my covers. You'll notice that I have some new additions to my decor in the back. Those are posters from some of my favorite book covers that he's done. And so it was kind of exciting and fun to have those up. Patrick also has been doing some like fun book trailers for me. And so he's done several for To Still a Heart, and I wanted to share those with you. But before I do, let me just answer a couple of these questions and read your comments. Debbie said she ate better and she's lost 24 pounds so far. Congratulations. That is awesome. And she said she bought a new Mother of the Bride outfit for my daughter's wedding last Friday. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. That is no small feat. You are awesome. And let's see. John says, evening, excited about the new book. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And let's see. Nell says, I have been walking 3 to 4 miles every day. Until you got COVID. She said, I have been sick now for 3 weeks. Trying to get my strength back, still very weak. I am so sorry. It seems like I've had COVID. I think I've had it 3 times that I know of. And the first time it knocked me out for about 6 weeks. And it was just really awful. I think now my body hopefully is getting more used to it. So the last time I had it, it really felt like a cold, but I lost my smell. The time before last, I lost my smell, and then it came back weird. And anyway, COVID is just really rough, and I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. Claire says she bought some new running shoes. Ooh, that's awesome. Kathy, hello, Kathy. Kathy is amazing. She helps me with a lot of my stuff that I do as an author, and I'm glad to see you on here. She says, I can't wait to read this one. I'm excited for you to read it too, Kathy. Okay, so I wanted to share these videos before I get off track. I get so excited talking to you that I lose my train of thought. But Austin is going to show you a couple of the videos, so I'll let him do that. Okay, what did y'all think? Those were kind of fun, huh? Yeah, those are kind of, I thought they were kind of fun. For those of you who really follow social media, there's a term that I came across, and it's kind of an interesting hashtag. It's coastal grandmother, and I don't know if any of y'all have heard of it, but it's kind of had me fascinated because you really don't have to be a grandmother to do any of this, but it's more of a lifestyle. It's kind of, taking time for long walks. It's on the coast. It's sophisticated women who enjoy reading their books and getting together with friends and just really enjoying the good life. And I thought, oh my goodness, that timing was perfect. And so I've kind of been thinking a lot about that because, of course, this one, as you're going to find out, involves Arden and her grandmother. And of course, they live on the coast. They live in Honeysuckle Island, and they have this exclusive hotel. So it was just kind of neat that was trending, and I thought it was good timing with this book. But let me read a couple of, let's see. Shelly asked, she said she can't stay all the time. Shelly's a flight attendant. She may be catching a flight, but she says she'll have to catch the rest tomorrow. And she asked if I'm going to be reading more of this book. I think right now I'm going to just read the little bit of the first one, and then I'm going to jump into the Almost an Angel one because I want to read The Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter. So that's kind of my plan for right now for this one anyway. Let's see. Paula says, love this series. Thank you. Debbie says, great videos, Austin. Yes, I'm glad y'all liked them. I thought they were kind of fun, and I like the music, the upbeat music that goes with them. Of course, the one was pretty suspenseful. So you can see how one of the videos was really, really through maybe Arden's point of view, and one of them's through grandmother's point of view. And so it was kind of fun to have that juxtaposition where you have more of the playful one, then you have the really serious one, because this really, really is suspenseful. It's got a lot of suspense. Robin says, looking forward to reading this. Sandy says, looks great. Thank you. And Mara says, sorry I'm late. I was heating up dinner. Oh, I totally understand. I just am glad that you got to come. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to read this. And I've been practicing, but I hope I can do it justice. Okay, so here goes. Chapter 1 of To Still a Heart. Is it real? Arden couldn't help but giggle at her boyfriend's bug-eyed expression. You bet your butter buns it's real. All $387,000 worth. It was interesting to see the Founders' Day banquet and ball through an outsider's eyes. Hector was enthralled with the glitz and pomp and circumstance of the occasion, whereas Arden was bored stiff. To add insult to injury, she felt like a stuffed sausage in her evening gown. Earlier, grandmother had made a snarky comment about Arden putting on several pounds. You're getting a little hefty, grandmother smirked. Arden told grandmother that was absurd and claimed that she'd been the same size since high school. Sadly, grandmother was right. The last time Arden wore this gown, it fit like a glove. Now it was choking off her breath. Arden was becoming too sedentary due to her riding. It was official. Time to incorporate exercise into her daily routine. And she needed to back off of the brownies. No, I'm not writing about me, guys. It's incredible, Hector murmured. What's it called? For an instant, the question threw Arden off. Then she followed Hector's line of vision and realized that he was still gawking over grandmother's necklace. Starry Dream, Arden whispered. Grandmother acquired the diamond necklace on her 30th wedding anniversary. It was exquisite, but Arden had seen it so often throughout her life that for her it was old hat. Was it a gift from Oliver? The awe in Hector's voice tromped on Arden's last nerve. Ever since Hector stepped foot in the Oliver Hotel, he seemed to have developed a raging fascination with the chasing family, Oliver in particular. Maybe Hector had spent too much time in the lobby reading the plaques about how Oliver settled Honeysuckle Island and built the hotel. Yes, her grandfather had done great things, but he was a man with plenty of faults, not some saint to be worshipped. Not exactly. Grandmother bought the necklace for herself. She said it was her payment for putting up with Oliver all of those years. Seriously? Wide-eyed, Hector turned to Arden. Yep, a low chuckle rumbled in her throat. If you ask me, instead of getting herself a gift, grandmother should have given my poor grandfather some sort of token for putting up with her all of those years. I'm surprised that your grandmother would wear the necklace out in public, Hector observed in a hushed tone. Isn't she worried that someone might try to steal it? That was a lame-o question. What good was a necklace if it couldn't be worn? Then again, in Hector's defense, he was an insurance agent. It was only natural that he'd think of the risk. Arden flashed a cheeky grin. Now, Hector, she drawled in a spot-on rendition of Scarlett O'Hara. You're not getting any ideas, are you? She even fluttered her eyelashes to give the full effect. It was cute how color blotched up Hector's neck before filling his handsome face. He certainly was nice to look at. Hector's uncommonly good looks were what first caught Arden's attention, and then she realized he was a nice, normal guy. Arden was sick of dating entitled hotshots in her same social circle who flaunted their wealth, or rather their family's wealth. She liked that Hector was from a middle-class family. You shouldn't joke about stuff like that, Hector rebuked in a low tone. Someone might get the wrong idea. He glanced around the table as if he were afraid someone might overhear them. A wicked thought germinated in Arden's brain. She'd been stewing over grandmother's weight insult. Time to get payback. She looked across the table at grandmother, who was wearing a dreadful black dress that was so solemn it could bring a gravedigger to tears. Her stone-gray hair was swept up in a mountainous beehive, and her perceptive dark eyes watched everything from behind the confines of her diamond-studded, cat-eyed glasses. She'd been beautiful once. Now she was imposing and intimidating, her disposition as sour as a carton of expired milk. Did Arden have it in her to go nose to nose with the crone? The answer came in a flash. Absolutely. Someone did try once. A bubble of laughter filled her throat, and it was all Arden could do to keep it from escaping her lips. She really cracked herself up sometimes. This was going to be good. Grandmother was kidnapped. Arden's words caught the attention of the rest of the table as all eyes turned to her. "I beg your pardon," Grandmother snapped indignantly. "I was never kidnapped." Arden kept a straight face as she turned to Hector. "Oh, yes, she was. The kidnappers snatched Grandmother under the assumption that they could torture her into telling them the combination to her safe." Josette's face shriveled into itself. With her long, skinny neck, she reminded Arden of a prune on a popsicle stick. "What nonsense is your bat-brained daughter babbling about this time?" She glared at Madeline and Banks. "I told you it was a mistake to let her go into riding." It was all Arden could do to keep from laughing at the absurdity of Grandmother's tirade, as if her parents or anyone else could have stopped her from pursuing her passion. Grandmother really was too much. Arden's parents eyed her with puzzled expressions. Effie's eyes were as wide as saucers, and Talon threw her a warning look that said, "Put a sock in it." Ignoring them all, Arden continued in a chipper tone. After 2 days of putting up with Grandmother's incessant badgering, they turned her loose and ran for the hills. Josette drew herself up, her eyes sparkling with the fire of a dragon about to torch an unsuspecting village. "This is what happens when you spend all of your time writing those insipid romance books. You lose your grasp on reality." Ouch, that stung. Arden looked Grandmother in the eyes. "The rest of the world doesn't find my novels insipid. It's not every day that a girl becomes a New York Times best-selling author, after all." Grandmother didn't skip a beat. "Don't fool yourself, girl. The only reason why you became a New York Times best-selling author is thanks to the chasing name." There might have been a sliver of truth to that comment. "That and my superb talent for writing good stories," Arden quipped as she flashed Grandmother a sugary smile. Josette wagged a gnarly finger at Arden. "You would be nothing without the chasing name. Don't you forget that." Her voice was garbled like she had a bundle of barbed wire stuck in her throat. Arden smirked. "You're just peeved because you never accomplished anything other than being Oliver Chasing's wife." Josette aimed her venom at Hector. "Put your tongue back in your mouth, sonny boy, and quit salivating over my necklace." Was Hector still looking at the blasted necklace? Arden could tell from his mortified expression that he was. Good grief, the poor sap was making himself an easy target. Grandmother would chew off his head and suck the tendons from his neck faster than he could blink. Fingering her necklace, Josette threw Arden a blistering glare. "See what happens when you bring riffraff to a family affair? That opportunist is only with you for one reason, because you're a chasing. He tried to persuade Talon to let his company insure the hotel. When that didn't work, he turned his sights to you. Wake up, girl, and quit living in a dream world. You're an avenue for him to weasel his way into our world." "Josette!" Madeline scolded as she gave Hector an apologetic look. Hector's face turned crimson. I meant no offense," he stammered. The necklace is just so impressive. I shouldn't have been staring." He cleared his throat before directing his comments to Talon. "I respect that you have a long-standing relationship with your other insurance agent. My association with Arden has nothing to do with her being a chasing." He turned to Arden, his expression pleading. "I care about you." Before Arden could respond, Hector turned to Grandmother. "If there has been any misunderstanding, I sincerely apologize." Arden groaned inwardly. Not good. Hector was falling right into Grandmother's trap. Pandering to her was the kiss of death. She would loathe Hector now. "You don't owe anyone here an apology," Arden asserted, patting his hand. She met Grandmother's glare full on. Money and status mean everything to Grandmother, so she just assumes that everyone else feels the same way. "Now, Arden," her dad began with a nervous laugh, "that's taking it too far. Let's just settle down and enjoy the evening. Talon's about to give his speech." He looked at Talon and offered him an encouraging smile as if to say, "Save us from the torture inflicted on us by our outspoken daughter." Madeline, who was seated on Arden's left, caught Arden's arm in an eagle claw grip. She jerked Arden close and hissed in her ear, "Stop poking the tiger or you'll get clobbered." "Tiger, huh? I prefer to think of her as an old bat, and I can handle anything she can dish out," Arden bragged. "It's not you that I worry about." Madeline glanced meaningfully at Hector. Mom had a valid point. If this continued much longer, Hector would fall to his knees and kiss Grandmother's bunion-riddled feet. Ooh, she didn't need that mental image ingrained in her head. Maybe Hector wasn't the one for Arden. She needed a man with at least a flicker of fire in his belt. She instantly squelched the thought. It wasn't Hector's fault that he wasn't first in the dog-eat-dog world of the chasings. Hadn't she been attracted to him because he led a normal life, away from the drama of this high society bubble? Arden needed more goodness in her world. She needed to be reminded that there was a whole world out there that didn't give a rat's patootie about a person's social standing. Arden threw Grandmother a look that could kill before settling back into her seat. What did it say about Arden that she found arguing with Grandmother so invigorating? Did that make her a terrible person? She really should learn to keep a muzzle on her mouth from now on. Poor Hector had paid the price for her insolence. Grandmother had gotten her goat with the snide comment about her weight. Arden should have just let it go rather than retaliating. Talon took the lead and opened up a conversation about the large number of guests who were in attendance. Arden knew that he was diverting attention away from the unpleasantness. Everyone relaxed and commenced eating their desserts. Arden could feel Grandmother watching her every move. How dare Grandmother take pot shots about her weight? I'll eat every last bite of this blasted pie and then some, she wanted to scream. She took one last bite of the decadent chocolate silk pie and savored the smooth sweetness on her tongue before placing her napkin over her plate and pushing it aside. She could have devoured the rest in a few bites, but she really did need to cut back on the sweets. She'd watch every morsel she put into her mouth if it meant getting sleeky thin. Never again would she give Grandmother the satisfaction of calling her overweight. Arden felt Grandmother's beady eyes on her. The two locked gazes before Grandmother smirked. Then something unexpected happened. Grandmother gave her a look of what could only be termed as admiration. Interesting. For the first time in her life, it occurred to Arden that perhaps she wasn't the only one who got a kick out of her and Grandmother's sparring sessions. While Arden had a healthy appreciation for the respect your elders mentality, Grandmother was so intolerable that Arden couldn't resist lashing out. Had Grandmother baited Arden about her weight so that she would come out swinging? It was certainly an interesting notion. Maybe Grandmother was also bored to tears and needed a way to spice up the evening. Arden glanced at Hector, whose face was still flushed. He looked so intensely uncomfortable that she felt sorry for him. With his dark eyes and matching hair, Hector reminded Arden of the actor George Clooney. Too bad Hector wasn't as witty as George. Nice guy or not, Hector would have to learn to stand up for himself if he had any hope of fitting in with the chasings. Now that Grandmother realized he was an easy target, she would hound him relentlessly. The MC took the stage. We'll be now pleased to hear a few words from Talon Chasing, the manager of the hotel. The attractive middle-aged blonde was sporting a royal blue sequin dress that showed off her trim figure. Arden had never seen the woman before and wondered if Talon had hired her for this event. Talon scooted back his chair and stood. Showtime. Break a leg, Effie winked as they shared a doting smile. Ooh, it was disgusting how lovey-dovey Talon and his wife Effie were. If Effie weren't so darn nice, Arden might have resented her for claiming all of Talon's attention. No, that wasn't true. Arden was grateful to Effie. She had brought love and meaning back into Talon's life. Talon's shoulders were erect as he strode up to the stage with confident steps. It was good to see her older brother so content, especially since his first marriage had been disastrous. Poor Talon had picked a doozy of a wife his first go-around. Lucky for him, number 2 was the charm. Good evening, Talon began with a cordial smile. Welcome to our Founders' Day celebration. There's an old saying that goes, he who gives short speech will still have friends at the end. Talon paused for effect and looked around at the crowd. His eyes sparkled as he delivered the rest with gusto. Rest assured that I will definitely have friends at the end of my speech. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Today is a special day. I'd like to begin by paying tribute to my grandmother. He motioned toward Josette, who smiled and offered a regal nod as everyone clapped. Talon wasn't merely paying Grandmother lip service. He had always been her favorite. In Grandmother's eyes, Talon could do no wrong. Too bad Josette wasn't as kind to her other grandchildren. Grandmother seemed okay with Forge, but she was downright nasty to her granddaughters. Charlie went out of her way to avoid Grandmother while Arden fought her tooth and nail. Josette made a point of looking at Arden as if to say, See what a great person I am? Talon loves me. You should fall in line. Fat chance of that ever happening. Talon waited until the applause died down before continuing. When my grandfather came to this island, all he had were big dreams for a grand future that he would carve out for himself. He was a visionary. He built this hotel for his beloved Josette. beloved was a stretch. Oliver and Josette's relationship was rocky, as evidenced by Oliver's affair, which gave him an illegitimate daughter. Arden loved her grandfather dearly. He had been kind to her. However, her view of him grew somewhat tainted when she realized that he had been unfaithful to grandmother. No wonder grandmother was so bitter. She turned her thoughts back to Talon's speech. People often speculate that Oliver amassed a treasure which he hid somewhere on the island. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Arden believed there was a treasure hidden on the island. In fact, she'd spent a great deal of time searching for it. Arden's gut told her that grandmother knew exactly where the said treasure was hidden, but an army of assassins couldn't drag it from her spindly lips. While that tantalizing rumor might keep tongues wagging, it's my firm belief that Oliver's true treasure is this enchanting island on which he settled. Talon lifted his hand and looked around. This magnificent hotel, his family. Thank you, grandfather, for leaving us such a rich legacy. You may have departed from us, but you will never be forgotten. Thunderous applause broke out as Talon waved and exited the stage. He returned to the table and took his seat beside Effie. Great job, son, Banks said with throaty emotion, short and sweet. Amen, Madeline chimed in as she raised her glass for a toast. To Oliver. May his memories continue to live large and long. Everyone lifted their glasses and repeated, to Oliver. Arden was tempted to use this opportunity to press grandmother about the whereabouts of the treasure, but she'd done enough damage already. No need to push the envelope. She'd do what didn't come easy. She'd hold her tongue. For now. Okay. What did you guys think? I have to tell you something funny. So I was trying to decide what I wanted to read, and I almost thought, I'll read chapters 1 and 2 because chapter 1 just kind of ends so abruptly, and I just can't wait for y'all to see what happens next. Chapter 2 is kind of a doozy. Lots of things happen. And so I was trying to decide what to do, and then Austin was like, well, Mom, why don't you just read the last 2 chapters? I said, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, what did y'all think about it so far? What did you think about grandmother? Ooh. What'd you think about Arden? Arden's funny. I kind of admire her for being so outspoken. I don't know if I would have the courage to do that. I did have to laugh, y'all, because when I was reading through this today and getting prepared, and I was reading that part about Arden about being too sedentary because of her writing, and then I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't think I was writing about me, but maybe I was putting a little bit of me in there. So I guess a little bit of me ends up in every one of my characters, right? Okay, so what did you guys think? Oh, Melanie says, Mara says grandmother is something else. Just wait. Oh my goodness, she really is something else. Melanie says, I wonder if something is going to happen to that necklace. I'm not going to say. Just have to read the book here. Mary says, I love the banter between Arden and grandmother. Yeah. And then Melanie says, one nasty grandma. Yeah, she gets a little worse, like she really does. I don't know if y'all have read the beginning ones, you know that Josette has been in every one. And actually the last book, Comfortable Lies, goes back and talks about Josette's history, so you kind of find all about the skeletons in her closet. But it was really fun to have that interaction between her and between her and Arden. Okay, so Debbie says your grandmother's voice was great. Thank you. I practiced that, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if it's too over the top or not, but anyway, I thought I'll just do the best I can. Y'all know I'm not the greatest with voices, so I just do the best that I can. Donna said I wouldn't have the courage to confront grandma. Yeah, I have to tell y'all a funny story. So I have a step grandmother who was kind of a little bit like Josette, and her daughter once said, Mama, I think I've lost some weight, and grandmother said, well, look behind you and you'll find it. So I kind of thought about her a little bit as I was writing this, just because she was so crusty, and so I know there really are people like that, and then there are all these like little really sweet grandmas too. Let's see. Robin says, love the quote about a speech and friends. I like that too. I thought that was kind of funny. I gave a speech one time and used that. I tried to find it. it was some kind of Chinese proverb, but I couldn't find it. But I was like, oh, I'm just going to use it because I used it one time in my speech. And then, Claire says, kind of reminds me of my grandmother. Okay. Mandy says, I love a nasty grandma. Yeah. I mean, I just cannot wait for y'all to read more about this because it gets really good between Arden and grandmother. Nell says, are you going to finish reading this book live or do we have to buy the book and finish reading it? Nell, I think this one I'm just going to read the teaser because I'm going to jump into reading the second one in the Almost an Angel. But it really is fun. And it's funny because as I was reading today, I kept thinking, let me summon in my mind these voices. So when I read other chapters, I'll get them down. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. So, but I may, I may end up going back and reading it eventually. But Mara says, it's so good. Thank you. Y'all got to continue reading chapter 2 because it kind of, you really get into the story. I kind of wanted to set the stage a little bit for this one because I wanted the interaction between the family and Arden, and you really need to know her thought processes. I want to hear what you think about Hector. Okay, so chime in what you think about Hector. I don't want to say too much about him because there's some more things that are going to happen in chapter 2, but any thoughts you have about Hector would be great. And I kind of thought a lot about Arden, and I'm like, okay, what would a girl like her be like? She's the second daughter, Talon is the oldest, and it's Arden, and she's grown up with all of this wealth. She's become a New York Times bestselling author, and yeah, admittedly, part of it, her success is owed to her family name, but she also feels like, that she's done some of it herself too. So I just kind of tried to get in her head, and she's so outspoken. When I was first writing this first chapter, I was like, ooh, I hope that, she's not too rough around the edges, but she kind of is. So I guess the trick with writing Arden is I want to make her likable, but yet she is who she is. So I wanted to do her justice also. Let's see. Let's see. Mandy says, "Oh, I'd love for you to continue reading it." You know what? I may have to do that. We'll finish. I'll do the. I'm going to do. The Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter, and then I'll pick another one. So y'all get to vote too. So if the vote goes for one of these, then I certainly would be open to doing that because it would be fun. I enjoy reading them with you. Donna says, I love your accent. Thank you. It's kind of nice to write about Southerners with me having a Southern accent because, y'all know my accent is stuck to me like glue. Like it's not going anywhere. So I just kind of have to just own it, I guess. Mary says Hector will find his place. Oh, that's a good observation. Yeah, you kind of feel sorry for him, don't you? Because, the poor guy staring at that necklace. And there is another part in the book, kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but where Arden says that, grandmother loves to wear her necklace and then she loves to castigate anyone who looks at it. So it's kind of this game that she plays. So that's kind of a fun part. Sandy says, I love the prune on a popsicle stick. I can just see that. And Melanie says, I need to find out what will happen to that necklace. Melanie, you just wait. Anyway, I can't give too much away because y'all have to read it, but I wish that I could tell you more. Nell says, oh, she's from Alabama, so she loves my accent. Oh, well, you'll have to tell us what part of Alabama you're from. I'm from Northeast Alabama, a little town called Stevenson, and it's interesting because I've actually had people who don't know me that they would say, you're from Alabama. They can tell from my accent, so that's kind of cool. Let's see. Let's see. Mandy says, I know how it is. I'm from the South also. Yeah, so y'all sound just like me, I'm sure. To y'all, y'all probably sound like me. And Tanya says, me too, guys. We're all, oh my goodness. And Mandy says, I'm from Georgia. This is awesome. Hey, didn't realize we had so many Southerners on here. I think this might be a record for the number of Southerners that we've had. So have y'all ever been to Bald Head Island, North Carolina, where, that's the inspiration for Honeysuckle Island. It's probably, I'm trying to remember, but it's probably about a mile, an hour, maybe a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half from Wilmington. And it's, I can't remember how far it was from Myrtle Beach, but it's really close to South Carolina. It's almost in South Carolina, but beautiful, beautiful area. Oh, Nell says Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide. Oh my goodness. Yeah. My dad played for Paul Bear Bryant and went to school at Tuscaloosa. So very, very familiar with that area. Yeah, kind of. It's so awesome. What a small world. Robin says, I'm from the West, Idaho. Well, Robin, now you're in my neck of the woods because y'all know I'm in Utah now. I'm in the Salt Lake Valley, and I actually love it out here. I mean, I kind of like being a Southern girl out West. It's kind of fun. Of course, I do go home quite often too. So I love both. I mean, I made the first of this week, I made some cornbread and pinto beans. And, anytime I need comfort food, that's what I do. We even though we live in the suburbs, my husband has a little garden box and we grow collard greens. And tomatoes. So it's just fun to incorporate that. I mean, I think anytime I smell cornbread baking, like I totally, reminds me of home. And I don't know if y'all remember, but when I was reading Kisses Over Candlelight, I actually did a segment with my daughter-in-law, Jenna Lee, where we baked cornbread together. So if you're new to this, you'll have to go back and look at that one because that way you can get the recipe. But anyway, it was really good. But anyway, I'm just excited. I'm just excited about talking to y'all. And that's funny because I was thinking one of my questions that I had put here was, what about grandmother and her diamond necklace? So we'll have to wait to see about that. Okay, here's a question that I wanted to pose to y'all. Do you have a family member who heckles you? Arden certainly rises to the bait, as you can see. And it kind of gets her in trouble. I really felt sorry for poor Hector. It's interesting because a lot of times we'll think, oh, when I get around this family member, I'm going to act so different. I'm not going to fall prey to this anymore. And then we get there and it's like we're all just kids again, like totally. Donna says, original Utah in here. Love Utah. Shout out to Utah. I think it's an amazing place. The mountains are beautiful. Oh, let's see. Karen says California, but have spent many years in Utah. Karen, I actually love California too. Northern California is one of my favorite places. I was really, I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was surprised at how similar Northern Cal looks to a lot of Italy. And I'd always heard that, but and we were kind of seeing Italy in its driest time, and California's drier, but I mean, it was very, very similar. I almost felt like I was in Northern Cal. I don't know if y'all have been to Italy, but anyway, lots of amazing things. The food was the highlight. I mean, food was just amazing, and it was kind of nice because we could really eat what we wanted because we're walking so much, so it really didn't matter. So lots of gelato, lots of margarita pizza, and I'll be, I'm going to actually do a travel video. So I'll be talking more about that later in the near future. Let's see. Robin says, my boys like to heckle their sister. She falls prey to it every time. Yeah, that's kind of hard. When my brother, I have a brother named Jonathan, and I call him a silver-tongued devil is what I call him because he's just Mr. Charm. And when I was a teenager, he's 10 years younger than me, so I can't remember the exact ages we were, but I was a teenager, and he came up to me and he says, Jennifer, you look so pretty today. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jonathan. I'm all like, oh, thank you, and he just kept going on. And about 3 minutes later, he says, hey, could you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And I was like, oh, okay. Now I see the full picture here, okay? But of course, I made it for him anyway for his effort because he was so darn cute. And he's still the same way, with that charm. And of course, I've got his number, but he's so cute that he gets away with it, right? Claire says, always wanted to go to Italy and Greece. I actually really want to go to Greece too. It looks beautiful. And we did go the hottest time of the year in Italy. We did that because Austin and my daughter-in-law, Jenna Lee, went. And then we actually took our nephew, Grant. He lived in Italy for 2 years. And so he spoke Italian. So it was so nice to have him with us. And we, we enjoyed his company too. But we ended up going because Jenna Lee's a school teacher and she she has summers off. And then Austin, we had summers off. So anyway, we ended up going at a very hot, busy time, but we still didn't realize it was going to be record heat. So we kind of had to laugh because it really was sweltering. Like when, some of our pictures, you can tell we were roasting. Let's see. Mara says, Southern Louisiana here. Yep. Love Louisiana. Awesome place. Awesome. It's kind of nice that we can connect from all over the country. It's really nice. And every once in a while, I know on one of these, or maybe a couple of these, we had, I think we had someone from Australia, and then I'm trying to remember the other places. I don't know if y'all remember. We had a few people from other places, which was kind of neat too. So let me see if I've covered everything I wanted to cover because I had this big list here to cover for y'all. But anyway, back to the book. I'm really, really, really excited for y'all to read it. Like, I think you're going to really like it. It's a fun one. And okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I ahead of time, I went ahead and drew the winner for the $10 Amazon gift card because this comes from my newsletter subscribers. So, okay, here it is. Kathy French is the winner. So congratulations, Kathy. You have won the $10 Amazon gift card. Okay, now Austin's going to do his spinny wheel, and we're going to find out the two winners of the ebook False Illusions, or you can have your pick of any of the other books in the Honeysuckle Island series. So, okay. Kind of neat to see how this is.
Can you see it?
No, I can't see it. You'll have to tell me and I'll. Y'all will see it before I do.
Okay, let's spin for the first one.
Okay, he's spinning for the first one. See who it is. Kind of neat to have that spinning wheel on there, isn't it? Kathy! Yay! That's exciting. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Kathy, you just won a copy of the book of your choice in the Honeysuckle Island series. So, Kathy's one of my beta readers, so she's like, well, I already have these books. But we might have to find her another one. We'll see. But congratulations. That is pretty awesome. Okay, let's see who else. And the spinning wheel. This reminds me of The Price is Right. Who is it this time? Ooh, Robin, congratulations. You were just telling Kathy congratulations. That is awesome. Congratulations. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so if you want anything today, be sure and email me at jennifer@jennifer.youngblood so that I can so it's jennifer@jenniferyoungblood.com. I'll add that little last part, but that way, and tell me what you won so that I can get your gift to you. And okay, now everyone though who has joined in today will win, and here's what you're going to win. Well, I guess win, but complimentary. You get a complimentary copy of, drum roll, Promise Me Love. Okay, this one's super suspenseful, and it actually takes place in the Salt Lake Valley. And I'm not going to tell you why you need to read this one, but let me just say this: you need to read To Still a Heart first, and then read your complimentary copy of Promise Me Love. So To Still a Heart first, and then that, and then you're going to understand everything. But I don't want to tell you, if you read the one first, it'll kind of be a spoiler for you. So read them first one, that one, and then that one, okay? And so, but to get your book, just email me at jennifer@jenniferyoungblood.com and tell me that you were on the YouTube Live, and then I will gift you your copy. So that kind of helps to keep me on track. So that way I don't have to remember, everybody. And so just send me that quick email and I will get your book out to you. Okay. Now, let me see. Does anybody have any final comments? It feels like that it goes by so fast. Melanie says, oh, thank you, Jennifer. You're very generous to us all. You're very welcome. You know what? I just really appreciate you guys. I mean, I look forward to getting on here with you. It is so much fun, and I'm just so excited. And I'm really excited for y'all to read To Still a Heart. And I wish you had already read it so that I could talk to you about it. But I don't want to give too much away. But Pat says, thanks so much. You're welcome, guys. I'm really appreciative of y'all. It's so much fun. I look forward every week. I kind of feel like, I've really felt that loss of not connecting with you every week. So it was fun to do that. So if anybody has any parting comments, be sure to put them in, and then we will go ahead and we'll go ahead and kind of bring everything to a close. But let me just remind you that next week, same time and same place, we will be reading the second book in the Almost an Angel series, the Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter. This is Brooke's story, and y'all know how Brooke is, so it is really a good one, and I am looking forward to it. So it'll be same time, 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and same place. Melanie says, let's see. Oh, what did it say? Karen says, popped in to say, she's on chapter 18. Okay. That's fantastic. She says, so I want to get back to Still a Heart. It's great so far. Yay, I'm excited for you to read the rest of it. Okay, and be sure and email me so you can get your copy of Promise Me Love, because it's going to go along with that too. Melanie says, I love these readings. Oh, thank you. Robin says, this was fun. My first time doing a live event. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you. Thank you. And then Mara says, my daughter and her family are going to Italy this Christmas. I think Christmas would be a fabulous time to go. My sister asked me, I had lunch with my sister today, and you can imagine where we had lunch. Y'all know me. She sent me a message this morning and said, hey, can you break away for lunch? Let's go get sushi. So, of course, we went to our favorite sushi restaurant, and it was wonderful. And so she said, hey, what was your favorite part of Italy? And it kind of took me off guard a little bit. I was like, because I guess there was so much to see, and it was almost like we did so much, and we were there for, I think we were there for 15 days. And so it was kind of a lot to take in. And I had to think about it for a minute, but I said, well, the food was amazing. I mean, the food is unparalleled. Gelato was amazing. But I really think my favorite part of all of it was there was this moment. We went to Rome first, and I really wasn't that excited about Rome because, I don't know, the Colosseum, everything just felt like a man's thing, and I thought, I don't know if I'm, really excited about that, but I'll go. But it's amazing. And there was just this moment to where we're walking down this cobblestone walkway, road. And, it looks like just a road that people would walk on, but, they have cars that come by. And of course the cars are tiny. And we look up, and these like houses or buildings are just close together with the vines. And then you've got the shutters, the wooden shutters that open and close. And then you have these little restaurants, like we just kind of found this restaurant, red and white check tablecloth, just like you see in the movies. And that was the first place where we had margarita pizza. And I think it was that. It was just being there and just experiencing that and realizing, wow, we are really here. And it's like we're in this part of history. So that was really neat. I really, really enjoyed it. But I'll talk more about that, in a later video, because we're going to show all the pictures and everything. And I've really got some fun stories. And it was fun to do research because, a lot of times, I loved, as often as I can, I love to go places where I'm writing books. And sometimes that's not possible, but it was so nice to be able to set the book. And of course, this is Charlie's story. I briefly mentioned Charlie into Still a Heart, and she's into Still a Heart quite a bit. So you'll get to know her. But this is her story. And so every time I was thinking, wow, what would Charlie do? What would she like to do? And came away with some really good ideas. And I'm excited to, so I'm writing next A Twist of Fame, which is Forge's story. And then I'll write A Sliver of Doubt, which is Charlie's story. So I've still got some time to percolate, and I'm still thinking about the plot, but I definitely have it kind of sketched out in my head, just from going on that trip. But Melanie says, that sounds lovely. It was wonderful. It was the trip of a lifetime, and I was so excited to get to go, and I can't wait to share that with you soon. But thank y'all so much. This has been so much fun. I have missed you, and for those of you who have joined for the first time, Robin, it was great having you, and thank you for joining. It was wonderful. So, and I hope to see you again next week, and we will dive into The Cowboy and the Billionaire's Daughter. But have a great rest of the week, and thanks for joining me.